This is not a good angle. I'm sorry. Hi, hello. I haven't made a YouTube video in time. But I'm here. I have green hair, a cup of tea, and I'm still using the front camera of my iPad. And also, there's roadworks going on outside my house. But all is well, I fear not. I have put myself in this position, so I will remain in this position until my journey is complete. When I made Can't Deal, I was kind of going through this weird phase of being like, I just want to be heard, I want to get my opinions across, I want people to listen to me. I'm not that kind of person, honestly. I really don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. Like, if people don't want to listen to what I've got to say, then that's fine. And I think now that I have grown as an adult and a blossoming tree child, I have now come to realise that my channel, if I want to actually do something, then I should try and do something that I care about more than just slandering people. I'm gonna try that again. That being said, I just don't know what it is that I actually want to do with my channel, and I think that the way that I'm gonna work around that is being like my channel is just going to be about me and my life and what I'm doing at the moment and what I am interested in or not interested in. And I might still do some videos where I'm like, this has really annoyed me. I might do some videos where I'm like, this is great, I'm really happy that this is happening in the world. If you put it this way, I am a failed artist, I am a failed writer, I am failed at pretty much everything that I've tried to do. So for me to just get myself back here and be like, look, I'm going to try this again, I think that's enough for me, and I don't really want a set plan just yet as of what my channel is going to be. And the quality is not going to be great. I don't have a lot of money. I moved out. This is my new house. So I'm just gonna like put all that boring stuff to the side now, and I'm gonna get into what I actually decided that I was going to make this video about. So, as I said before, I fail at everything that I try. I mean, I'm good at a lot of things, but I haven't managed to perfect anything. I recently started writing a script. I know that this sounds really weird, really bizarre, really random, and like anybody who is actually looking for something on how to write a script is probably gonna think, why would I come to you because you don't have a clue what you're talking about? Which is true. I don't know. I don't even write a script for my videos. I didn't write a script for this video, and I haven't made a video in literally months. However, I have been writing a script for a screenplay. It is something that I have never ever really looked into before. I have never seen any information or just nothing that was like easily accessible. At the moment I can't go to a library, and a lot of people were like, oh, there's some great books out there that you can go and get, or books that you can buy, and I'm not working proper hours at the moment either. I don't have the money to spend on a book so that I can read and learn that way. YouTube taught me a lot. I sat down, I watched a lot of videos. There's a YouTube channel called No Film School. That's really good. There's a guy called Tyler. I'm not going to try to say his last name, but I will insert it on the screen because I will mess it up. He is also great. There's a lot of different individual people who have individual tips on what to do as somebody who already has sort of an inkling into what they're supposed to be doing when writing a script. The thing is, I was going in head first, straight into the deep end, and I had no idea what I needed to do. So I sat down with this idea in my head, but not actually on paper. And the idea started off, it was like set in an alien universe, and there was like vampires and witches and demons. It was like this really crazy idea, which was fine when it was a story. I was writing it as a book, and every time I got to this midpoint, I just hit against this wall, and I was like, this is driving me insane. The only way I can get around this is by having like back and forth dialogue, and it's going to get boring for the reader. I know a lot about creative writing. I'm not good at it, but I know a lot about it, and I was like using all of these descriptive words and trying to use the best verbs that I possibly could. I mean, I saved this whole list of like powerful verbs, you know, like what you have in primary school when they're like, it's like strong adjectives, and it was like, I don't know, they'd use strong adjectives for people in year 6. But it helped me to just have some things, but that didn't help me in the long run because I was still hitting this wall, getting to this point where it was like impossible for me to visualize what I was seeing and put it down onto the paper without it just being, hi, hello, what are you doing? I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And it was like, it doesn't work. It just isn't really working. I can't do it. So I gave up. The specific idea of the plot, I had been working on it for about 4 months, and I just kept writing and rewriting it and then starting it again. And one of the worst things that you can possibly do when writing is keep going back to the beginning. You split a book into 3 acts like you would a screenplay. You have your beginning, which is where everything builds up. You're going to meet your main characters, you're going to see the world, you're going to get a feel for what's going on. It's sort of like setting the tone. I could do that perfectly. I got all of that in, I was happy with it, and then I moved on to Act 2. Act 2, things start to unravel and you will almost start to fall into the story, and that is where your reader will be fully invested. Not hooked. Your readers will be hooked from the first page, or they should be. So let's say I was getting to Act 2 of the book, and there was a scene which I needed to somehow convey that one of the main characters was another character's father, but I couldn't have the readers know this. And I was like trying to write this for so long, and I came up with so many different ways and ideas, but every time I read it back I was like, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense because we didn't know this before, and there was no visual representation to show me that. I could say he looked a lot like character X, but he was still character Y, and it didn't matter how often I tried to give away hints and blah and blah and blah, nothing was coming across the way that I wanted it, and eventually I gave up. My only advice that I could find that I hadn't already tried was to read more, and that is why I'm making this video. I can't read. I can read, I went to school, I'm literate, but reading for me is very, very difficult when I sit down to read a book. First of all, I get an awful headache. The words move about on the page. I'm not dyslexic. I've been told, I've been tested, and I don't have dyslexia, but it is just impossible for me to stay focused for that long. I get into a story, I get really invested in it, and then I get bored of having to sit down and find the time to actually enjoy reading, because it's not something that I do actually enjoy, which is, again, hard, really hard, because I'm so passionate about writing and getting these ideas out of my head and onto the paper. But it's like in my artwork, in school, in college, they told me plan, plan, and plan again. Make sure you got everything written down, make sure you've done all your research, blah, 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 get it in there. And I was getting all of this research, getting to my actual main piece, my final piece, and being like, okay, this is all great, but I don't want to do that anymore. Something that's really difficult for me to just grasp all of the ideas and like hold them into a net. I'm like, my ideas don't work like that. My ideas want to float around, and I can pluck out random ones and little bits of aspects of the other one, maybe write it down as I go, but I don't want to sit down and plan all of this before. Like grabbing a book, reading a book, it felt like I was sitting down and planning my story, like the way it was going to go. I felt like I was being influenced too much by it, and also I just don't like reading. Not because I am lazy, which I am, but because of the difficulties that it causes me. before I even started to write the script, this is when I started to watch some interviews with famous screenwriters. I don't remember what the video was called, and I don't remember who the screenwriter was who answered the question, but he said something along the lines of, when is it time to realise that you're writing the screenplay instead of the novel? And I was like, wait, that is a good point. Maybe I'm just writing this wrong. Maybe it does need to be more dialogue. Maybe the facial expressions that I'm trying to convey with metaphors and similes and blah aren't coming across because you can't actually see what this person's face is doing. Even in my head, when I was writing things down, like his brow crumpled, you know, you can see that in different ways. You can think, or like this, or, you know, there's so many different ways to describe the way that something's doing it, but you can't actually see what's happening. When I was writing, my screenplay is currently called Disorganized Attachments. When I started writing it, I wasn't even sure how many like stage directions I could put in. My only knowledge was from year 9 drama. I knew nothing. I can't act. I enjoy it, but I can't do it. My interest is in writing and directing, hopefully. I realise now that I have just done around 12 minutes. I think it was closer to like 25 minutes of intro for this video, so I'm going to move on quite swiftly. What I'm going to be doing is taking you on my journey while I figure out how to write a script, how to structure a script, and then maybe the process of rewriting, analysing, going through dialogue, blah-de-blah-de-blah. I want to make this something that I can share with other people like me who struggle to do things by the book. Because, you know, there's different types of learners. I'm a visual learner. I like to watch videos and I like to listen to people speak. I don't like to read because, again, same reason, it doesn't stick, it doesn't sink in. I just have to keep going back and doing it over and over. This video was going to be about the first page of a script and what I've learned so far on how to capture a reader, because you have to remember, before your script can be anything else, it has to be a script, and it has to be written and read before it can be anything else. You don't write a script quickly, and I'm saying quickly as in relatively quickly, because your first draft needs to be thing after thing after thing after thing. You gotta remember conflict, you gotta remember wants, needs, all of this stuff. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna talk about characters, how to develop a strong character, because this kind of stuff is stuff that I have been doing forever. I used to just make character profiles when I was a kid, and all the way up I continue to do this. Whenever I'd write a story, I had Wattpad for a bit, and whenever I would write something and post it on there, before I would always make a character profile, at least for my main 2 characters. The more that you know a character, the better you are going to be able to be that character. So yeah, this is what I am currently going to be basing this channel on. My process, writing a script from knowing nothing to knowing more than nothing. And if you're interested in that, then please stick around. Tell me what you want to know. I will do the research. I will do it all for you. It gives me something to do. It gives me a break from my script so that I can have some distance and some separation so that I'm not constantly there. I was up until 2:30 last night. I wrote 18 pages and I haven't read back through it yet because I know that it's going to be tired mind waffle, which I am going to call it, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes when you're tired, you're not thinking about things and you are just typing. It might not make sense in the sense of actual wordplay making sense, but you might be able to grasp at the strings that you were trying to put in front of yourself. And sometimes your tired mind comes up with some amazing things. What I think that tired writing does is it is like taking notes, but at the time you think, oh my god, this is so good, and you've got all these ideas and they're all coming so fast, and you're just like, I just want to get them all down on the page because I'm so tired and I'm lacking so much energy, but I really want to get this point across before I can go to bed. And that is great because you'll come back to this with a refreshed mind, and you'll be able to revise this and pull out those key points that you were trying to get across in the first place. When you come back to your tired waffle, you need to remember that just deleting it, throwing it away, it's like when you draw a bad picture, you're always told, don't throw away your artwork. No artwork is bad artwork. No writing is bad writing. It can always be improved. It's subjective. It is a constant change. That is what I want to talk to you about, and I want to show my process of being someone who knows nothing about writing scripts or even making a screenplay that is gonna be good. We could get to the end of this and my screenplay could be awful. It could be absolutely awful. But we're gonna go through this process and you can then see where I went wrong and where you want to go right, or where you want to take a different turn, however you want to put it. That's what I want to do. So yeah, I made this video just to talk for literally 6 minutes and 6 seconds about what I actually want to do, but I felt like I needed to give all of that background before I just jumped straight back into everything. I'm gonna make a series about this, maybe, hopefully, if I get round to it. I will make some music and some intros and some blah blah blah, and we'll make it look all professional and shiny so that all of the people who care about marketing will be like, oh, look at this looks good, and then we'll get loads of viewers and bang. What will I have? I will have at least a sense of self-worth. If you are interested in everything that I just talked about, and going through with a beginner, as a beginner, how to get your ideas out onto the page as a script. We might talk about other things in the future, but if you want that, then please, please, please like this video, comment down below whatever it is that you want to see me talk about. I'm really, really interested in talking about character arcs and wants and needs and things like that, because they are really detrimental to a story if you don't know what your character wants and what that problem is and what it is that they actually need to achieve their overall want. It's really hard to write a character because you're going in blind, so yeah, that could be a good place to start, and I think I might start there. But I still want you to comment if you have any ideas on what I could do after. Thank you for watching this video. We are currently called Can't Deal, but I don't know if that's gonna stay that way, and maybe comment as well if you have any ideas on what I should call my new channel. Thank you. Please subscribe. I've got pins and needles so bad.